Hearing number 8241. This hearing numbered 8241, is being conducted pursuant to Chapter 8.97 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis. The applicant, Jason Bailey, CO Custom Design 2, is proposing to operate a tattoo establishment at 1432 North Broadway. Due to the nature of the business, the applicant is required to hold a license and permit issued pursuant to Chapter 8.97 in addition to any other requirements under the law. As outlined in Section 8.97.070 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis, the Board of Public Service may approve such an application after a hearing if it is satisfied that the applicant is of good moral character and the applicant has given evidence that he will be able to operate the premise in compliance with all regulations and laws governing such premises, and the applicant is a resident of state and his neighborhood consent petition is in due form, and the applicant's premise are not within 500 feet of an elementary school. The Board of Public Service has the following documents which are being introduced into evidence. Item 1, a certified copy of Chapter 8.97 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis and St. Louis City Ordinance 70813 as amended. Item 2, an application for tattoo parlor with 2 chairs submitted to the board secretary with the drawing of the proposed premise. Item 3, a copy of a letter from the Director of Health dated October 25th, 2019 to BPS finding no evidence of health code violations at the facility. Item 4, a letter sent to the applicant dated December 17th, 2019, providing notice of today's hearing. Item 5, a copy of the public notices of today's hearing. And item 6, an occupancy permit issued for 1432 North Broadway for use as a tattoo parlor with 5 chairs. At this time, the board will swear in and hear from the city representative. Your testimony is being recorded. When you come forward, please state your name and address and be sworn in. As you testify, please direct your comments to the board and not to those in the audience. Members of the audience are asked to remain silent and not coach the witnesses. During your testimony, members of this board may have questions for you. Following this hearing, the board will proceed with its regular agenda. Following the conclusion of the regular agenda, the board will deliberate, discuss, and vote on this hearing. At this time, the board will swear in and hear from city representatives present, followed by the applicant and those in support of the application. The board will then allow those in opposition, if any, to address the board. At this time, the board asks the zoning inspector to please come forward and be sworn in. Zoning is not present. State for the record for today's hearing, the zoning inspector is not present. The board asks the representative of the Department of Health to please come forward and be sworn in.
I do. John R. Ward.
Did you perform an inspection of the proposed tattoo parlor located at 1432 North Broadway?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you determine that the proposed tattoo parlor complies with all applicable health, safety, and regulations promulgated by the health director?
Yes.
Does the board have any questions for the Department of Health? Do you have anything you would like to add?
Not really.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. The board asks that the applicant please come forward and be sworn in.
Heather Sutherland. 791 Meyer Road, Ullman Row, 63369.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have a series of questions. If you would please answer those for me.
Absolutely.
Are you a resident of the state of Missouri?
I am.
How many tattoo chairs are being applied for today?
2.
Okay. And are you aware that any increase in the number of tattoo chairs must be applied for through this board?
Absolutely.
Okay. How many employees will you have at your establishment?
As of right now, there is just the owner and 1 employee. We don't have the other chair full.
Okay, so 2.
Yeah.
And do all the tattoo artists have their Missouri state licensure?
Yes,
Okay. And do you have all your necessary Missouri state licenses?
I do.
Okay. And there are a series of things I will ask you about Chapter 8.97. Will you be able to comply with all provisions of Chapter 8.97 of the revised Code of the City of St. Louis, including the following? Item 1. Do you understand that as the operator of a tattoo parlor, you are at all times responsible for the orderly conduct of the tattoo parlor and the acts of any agents, servants, or employees in the operation of the business?
Absolutely.
Item 2, pursuant to Chapter 8.97, tattoo parlors may only be open from 9 a.m. until 1 a.m. What are your proposed hours of operation?
It would be 10 to 10.
Okay, to 10. Item 3, tattoo parlors should be kept clean and well lighted so the rear of the premise may be plainly visible from the front of the premise. Will you be able to maintain your parlor such?
Absolutely.
Okay. And item 4, no tattoo parlor shall allow or permit any loud noises, boisterous or disorderly conduct in or around the premise or on any grounds of such premises, and the tattoo parlor shall prevent the loitering of persons on the premise, on or around the premise or grounds of the tattoo parlor. Will you be able to comply with these regulations?
Absolutely.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say to the board? Okay. Do the board members have any questions for today's applicant?
President Bradley, I have a
Counselor?
question. The applicant, your name is Heather Sutherland, is that correct? The applicant on the application I'm looking at is Jason Bailey.
He's over here. He just don't speak too well in front of
Okay,
people.
so the applicant's present.
He is absolutely present.
Okay. And are you associated with Custom Design too?
Absolutely. I do most of their front desk or anything they need, just since it's my other half.
Okay. And you mentioned your address on Meyer Road. That's the same address of Jason Bailey?
Absolutely.
Okay. I have nothing.
Any additional questions from the board? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If there's anyone else present in favor of the application that wishes to testify, please come forward and be sworn in at this time. Seeing none. If there's anyone in opposition to the application that wishes to testify, please come forward and be sworn in. Seeing none. The matter concerning hearing number 8241 is now closed and submitted. The board will now continue with its regular agenda. After the regular agenda, the board will deliberate and vote on the hearing. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie is not present. Director Wilson.
Here.
Director Hayes.
Here.
Director Augustin.
Here.
Director Eccles.
Here.
Director Edwards.
Here.
And President Bradley.
Here we have a quorum. I'll call this meeting in order.
From the President, contract and bond for letting number 8705, meter and tap building demolition, 4600 McCree Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri, 63110. City of St. Louis Water Division, St. Louis, Missouri. Contract and bond for letting number 8706, Dr. Martin Luther King Drive lighting and traffic signal improvements, Newstead Avenue to Vandervender Avenue, Federal Project number STP 9901643, St. Louis, Missouri. PSA number 1242, Industrial Control Systems, ICS, Risk Assessment Project. Supplemental Agreement number 3 to PSA number 1228, Civil Structural Surveying, Geotechnical Design Services and Cost Estimating, St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality Agreement. Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission STP Urban Program Agreement. Missouri Highway and Transportation STP Urban Program Agreement. Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality Agreement. Equipment Services Division contract for the diagnosis, repair, replacement, service, and troubleshooting of heavy and small duty equipment air compressors. BPS parent permit for installation of IKEA Smart City Kiosk with the City of St. Louis. Recommendation that 2 festival zones be approved, subject to certain conditions as follows. St. Louis Women's March, January 18, 2020, at Poker and Kaufman Parks. Closed Chestnut between Tucker and 14th. 13th between Pine and Market, and March from Parks. East on Market to 4th and disperse. NHL All-Star 5K, January 25th, 2020, at Aloha Plaza Run Route, Market and Union Station, east on Market, north on 7th, west on Pine, north on 15th, west on Olive, south on Jefferson, east on Pine, south on 17th, west on Market to Union Station. From the President, Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that permit for Washington University School of Medicine to amend permit number 126390 to install raised concrete mediums at the approaches to the Metro crossing and address issues regarding mid-block crosswalk and reduce bump out offsets on Forest Park Parkway be approved subject to certain conditions. From the Director of Public Utilities, recommendation that 2 emergencies be approved as follows. Vacuum truck services to remove filter media at Howard Bend Water Treatment Plant, and masonry tuck point and related work for boiler and locker room at McCree Pipe Yard Facility. From the Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that 5 permits for AT&T be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. AT&T contractor to access handhold in the rear of A15 Cass Alley and bore 226 feet southeast to 8th Street, then bore 140 feet southwest and 8 feet west to side of customer building at 801 Cass. AT&T contractor to access existing manhole 60 feet east of the 20th in front of 1910 Pine, then bore 60 feet west to manhole at 20th and Pine, then 345 feet north to existing manhole at 20th and Pine and Olive, 201 North 20th, etc. AT&T will directional bore and place 1 2-inch poly pipe with 24 fiber cable. Will start at an AT&T manhole at the rear of 4490 West Pine Boulevard in the alley at North Taylor Avenue and continue 540 feet east to the rear of 4466 West Pine, etc. Starting at manhole 1098 on the side of 1201 Macklin, AT&T to bore a new conduit for 245 feet to a pole located at the side of 1201 Macklin. Starting at existing AT&T manhole located on North Euclid at the alley between Maryland and Persian, front 318 Euclid. From this manhole, bore down the alley for 74 feet and turn up the pipe on the side of 318 North Euclid, etc. Joint recommendation that 7 MCI Metro access permits be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Beginning at the existing manhole located at the intersection of 2607 Cass, bore 125 feet to the southeast intersection and place handhole across street from 2607 Cass, etc. Starting at existing handhole located in front of 3340 Morgan Ford Road, bore and place conduit 237 feet south along the east side of Morgan Ford Road, ending and placing new handhole near existing handhole located at Cellular Building just south of 3350 Morgan Ford Road. Starting at existing handhole located in front of 4012 South Broadway, bore first leg 130 feet north along the east side of South Broadway, then turning bore 87 feet east along the south side of Osage Street, ending at existing handhole located in front of 2250 Osage. Starting at existing handhole located on the south side of alley at 6217 Morgan Ford Road, bore and place conduit 25 feet north to alley, then turn west and bore 55 feet to existing handhole located at the side of 6217 Morgan Ford Road. Starting at existing handhole located in front of 3400 North 9th Street, bore and place conduit 145 feet north along the east side of North 9th Street, ending and placing new handhole at the entrance of 3400 North 9th Street. Starting at existing handhold located in the intersection of 4592 Manchester, bore and place conduit for fiber 425 feet south along the east side of Kings Highway, ending in placing new handhold in front of 1234 Kings Highway Boulevard. Starting at existing handhold located in front of parking lot just west of 5841 Delmore, bore and place conduit for fiber 234 feet south, crossing Delmore along the west side of Law Street, ending at the handhold at rear of 5850 Delmore. This handhold to be placed on recently issued permit 124747. Joint recommendation that 8 permits for charter communications be approved, subject to certain conditions as follows. Starting at 5425 Manchester Avenue in the rear of property, from there board across Macklin Avenue 110 feet, the east curb line. From there, turn and board 344 feet to existing vault at the entry of 1330 Macklin parking lot. Total footage is 454 feet. Starting underground behind 62 Kingsbury Place and Clara Avenue, go north on Clara Avenue 303 feet to the Guard Shack at 63 Kingsbury Place, St. Louis, Missouri, Guard Shack. Starting at the pole on the side of 2214 Cherokee, from there board 2,828 feet to 1820 Cherokee Street. Starting at the pole in the sidewalk in front of 2853 Pestalozzi Street, board south 205 feet down Nebraska, place vault, then turn east and board 10 feet, stopping behind 2851 Gravois. Our work will be done on private property. Starting at existing charter manhole located at the front of easement of 3810 Washington Boulevard in North Spring, charter would like to bore south 269 feet along the North Spring Avenue toward alleyway, placing a vault in the sidewalk. From there, charter would like to bore 322 feet west down alleyway, Washington Boulevard, placing a final vault located at 3830 Washington Boulevard before entering into private property. Starting at the pole located in the rear of 1822 South Broadway near alley, from there bore east to South 3rd Street, placing a vault. From there bore south on South 3rd to Shenandoah, placing a vault. From there bore west on Shenandoah to the alley east of 7th Street, turn and bore down alley to address 2350 South 7th Street. Total footage is 3,100 feet. Starting at pole located in front of 1210 Macklin, bore east on Wise Street, plus or minus 115 feet off of the south curb line until road dead ends. From there, turn and bore south on East Road until I get to 5121 Manchester. Total footage is 1,833 feet. Starting at existing vault located near the west entry of Quick Trip off of Filer, 3291 South Kings Highway, boring west on the north curb line next to the sidewalk, 75 feet. From there, cut under sidewalk north to private property. Total footage is 75 feet. Joint recommendation that 7 small cells for Verizon be approved as filed, subject to certain conditions as follows. From existing power pole near 235 South Sarah Street, trench or bore 160 feet north-northeast to intersection of Forest Park Avenue and South Sarah Street, turn and bore 435 feet east-southeast to light pole near 4052 Forest Park Avenue. From new small cell light pole located at 4974 Forest Park Avenue, bore 402 feet west-northwest, turn 90 degrees and bore 46 feet south-southwest to new pad mount transformer. From existing wooden power pole at 4448 Maryland Avenue, bore or trench 15 feet east-northeast, turn and bore or trench 136 feet north-northeast, turn and bore or trench 192 feet east-southeast, turn and bore or trench 11 feet northeast to new small cell light pole near 4430 Maryland Avenue. from new small cell light pole at 4653 Persian Place, place the corner of North Euclid Avenue and the alleyway. Trench and bore 68 feet southwest. Turn and trench or bore 78 feet southwest. Turn and bore 13 feet southeast to existing Amarin power pole located along the North Euclid Avenue, just south of Persian Place. From proposed small cell pole at 933 Hamilton Avenue, located approximately 35 feet north of the Holdemont Street core right-of-way, bore or trench 80 feet southwest. Turn and bore or trench 54 feet southeast to existing wooden power pole with a transformer located at the east side of Hamilton Avenue and approximately 7 feet south of the vacated Holdemont Street core right-of-way. From new small cell light pole located at the northeast corner of intersection of Clemens Avenue and Goodfellow Boulevard, 5751 Clemens, bore or trench 28 feet northwest. Turn and bore or trench 214 feet northeast. Turn and bore or trench 96 feet east-northeast to existing wooden power pole with transformer located in the alleyway behind 5744 Cates Avenue. From the light pole and meter location located near 173 North 4th Street, bore 20 feet underground parallel to the sidewalk, slightly northeast. Then turn more directly northeast and bore approximately 70 feet to the manhole location. Joint recommendation that two applications for a small cell for XDNet systems be approved, subject to certain conditions as follows. From existing manhole in the southern lanes of Chestnut Street at the intersection of North 19th Street, bore approximately 45 feet west to the new light pole location. Starting with a utility pole that is on the west side of South 8th Street, 155 feet southwest of Russell Boulevard, on the north side of the alley, boring 31 feet southeast under South 8th Street to a new light pole on the southeast corner of the intersection of the alley and South 8th Street. There will be bore pits on each end, but no new handholds. Joint recommendation that permit for Visar Electric Contracting to install underground conduit in the alley for Amarin services at 2746 through 52 Lafayette be filed by reason of the fact that the application was resubmitted under the applicant's name. From the Director of Public Utilities and Public Safety, joint recommendation that permit for Foundation Up LTD to consolidate land at 3024 through 26 Ohio in City Block 1982 be approved, subject to certain conditions. Joint recommendation that permit for Chad and Danielle Windmuller to subdivide land at 2018 and 2022 Macklin, 5355 Wilson and City Block 4039 be approved, subject to certain conditions. Be denied by reason of Board Order 720. From the Director of Streets, recommendation that the following ordinances be approved as follows. An irregular shaped portion of 13th Street from Gravois Avenue northwardly 150 feet to terminus at intersection 55. An ordinance to conditionally vacate Elliott from North Market northwardly 203.13 plus or minus 0.05 feet to a point previously vacated by ordinance 67779 and Leffingwell from North Market northwardly 265.02 feet to a point previously vacated by ordinance 65271. An ordinance to conditionally vacate Montgomery from Glasgow eastwardly 136.0 plus or minus 0.75 feet to a point previously vacated by ordinance 66616 and the 15-foot wide north-south alley in City Block 1897, beginning at Montgomery and extending 118.67 feet to a point previously vacated by ordinance 66616. An ordinance to conditionally vacate Pacific Avenue from Pampin to Shoto. An ordinance to conditionally vacate Louisa from 2nd eastwardly 167.50 feet to terminus, and the remaining 115-foot section of the 15-foot wide north-south alley in City Block 769 is bounded by St. George DeKalb, vacated Louisa and 2nd. An ordinance to conditionally vacate 2nd from Tyler south 256.045 plus or minus 4.105 feet to terminus. An ordinance to conditionally vacate Virginia Avenue from Shoto northwardly 584.425 plus or minus 2.985 feet to a point, said point being vacated Gratiot Street. An ordinance to conditionally vacate the southern 114.05 plus or minus 0.01 feet of the 15-foot wide alley in City Block 181 is bounded by Locust 7th, Olive, and 8th. An ordinance to conditionally vacate the 15-foot north-south alley in City Block 3874 West, beginning at Persian and extending northwardly 176 plus or minus 6 feet to a point bordering the 20-foot wide east-west alley in City Block 3874 West is bounded by Waterman, Clara, Persian, and DeBoliver. Recommendation that permit for Bronze Gate Properties LLC to encroach with electrical conduit under alley from Ameren utility pole to property at 2750 Lafayette be approved subject to certain conditions. Recommendation that permit for Margaret Goldsmith to encroach with stair at west entry of building at 1428 Warren be approved.
We have no conditional uses for consideration today. Hearing number 8241, which would be Jason Bailey, Custom Design 2, operate a tattoo establishment at 1432 North Broadway. We heard from the Health Department representative that the business is in compliance with all applicable health and safety laws. We heard from the representative of the applicant that they have all required licensure and will comply with all provisions of Chapter 8.97 of the revised code. There were no persons in support, and there were no persons in opposition for today's hearing. So with that, I'd like to open the floor for any discussion from the board.
I make a motion to approve Custom Design 2.
Second.
Moved and second for approval of our applicant for the hearing today, Custom Design 2. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie is not present. Director Wilson.
Aye.
Director Hayes.
Aye.
Director Augustin.
Aye.
Director Eccles.
Aye.
Director Edwards. And President Bradley.
Aye, approved. I'd like to turn your attention to our meeting minutes from our special meeting on December 13th, 2019. I will just remind everyone who was present, because it has been some time ago, the directors present for that meeting were Scobie, Hayes, Augustin, and Bradley. Are there any questions or comments on those meeting minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and second for approval of the special meeting minutes. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie is not present. Director Wilson.
Abstain.
Director Hayes.
Here. Aye.
Director Augustin.
Aye.
Director Eccles.
Abstain.
Director Edwards.
Abstain.
And President Bradley.
Aye, the minutes are approved. Our meeting minutes from our last meeting that we held December 17th, 2019. And again, I will remind the directors who were present for that meeting. Directors Wilson, Hayes, Edwards, and Bradley. Are there any questions or comments on those meeting minutes? Seeing none, I'll take a motion, please.
I move to approve those minutes.
Second.
Moved and second for approval of our last meeting minutes. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie is not present. Director Wilson?
Aye.
Director Hayes?
Aye.
Director Augustin?
Abstain.
Director Eccles?
Abstain.
Director Edwards? And President Bradley.
Aye. Minutes are approved.
President Bentley, I'm afraid on the previous meeting minutes from 12:13, there were only 3 people voting in the affirmative, so you don't have a majority to approve them.
Enough quorum.
Well,
Did we have enough votes to
yeah, you need
approve it?
4 of 6,
So
and you have 3
had
of
at the
6.
special meeting, you had 1, 2, 3, 4 present at the special meeting. And so 3 of us voted on it today out of the 4 that were there. You feel like we need a 4th one to approve it as a quorum?
Today, yeah, because today you're 6.
Okay. So we'll table those meeting minutes until the next meeting and try to get all 4 of the directors that were present at that meeting.
I may say you don't have to be present to vote in the affirmative or to vote in the negative. Anyone can vote any way they
Noted.
want.
That's fine. Thank you.
So I could vote?
Yeah,
Even though I wasn't there, I could vote to pass the minutes?
you could.
If you want to clear it off, though.
What's that?
She said I could vote even though I wasn't present to pass the minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, then
Either
we're
way,
good.
you could also vote not to approve. You can vote either way you want.
Right.
Okay. So would you like to revise your vote?
Yes, I'll vote aye.
So would
Instead of
I will
abstain.
vote aye.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now they're approved. We had a very busy agenda today. Thank you, Sharice, for putting that together. Are there any questions or comments on that agenda or any of the items on there? Seeing none, take a motion, please.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Moved and second approval of today's agenda. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie is not present. Director Wilson?
Aye.
Director Hayes?
Aye.
Director Augustin?
Aye.
Director Eccles?
Aye.
Director Edwards?
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Today's agenda is approved. Motion for adjournment, please.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
Richard, thank you. Can we go back on the record? I'm sorry.
Yes.
All right. I just want to take the time and acknowledge Rich for all the hard work that you've done in terms of getting us the replica.
That's what we're going
For
What's he done? Wow.
So now that was really good. But also, I want to note that Irene will be leaving us.
Absolutely.
And she will be leaving us soon, and she's been just terrific to work with. She's very, very smart, and the city of St. Louis is just losing a terrific advocate. I just wanted to acknowledge her and her work on this.
What is your last meeting? Is this it here today?
No, it'll probably be the last one in January.
Okay.
Maybe February. I'm not sure. First week of February.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good
Very
acknowledgement.
nice. I agree.
Thank you.
And this is not on the record, but everybody's invited the 17th to come out and hold and drink out of the Stanley Cup. It's actually in my office now, if you want to go take a look at it. If you'd like to have a look, it's there, so. It's locked up, so you can't
I
take it
took it
today.
to Parks this morning, you just didn't know that.
Oh, boy. And Greg said he always wanted to be a hockey player.
Yeah.
I reminded him of
What'd you say
Geico
got in your way?
commercial with the rollers.
Learning how to ice skate got in my way. Yeah, very good meeting. Thanks.
Meeting adjourned.